This instrument is the Smokey Mountain Dulcimer strumstick, and it's made from indigenous timbers. It has an American poplar neck, also known as tulip wood in some places, and it has a top of what looks like, it smells like juniper or pencil cedar, and it's made of one piece of wood, so all this here is just one piece of poplar. The fingerboard again is poplar, and if you look at the head here, you can see it's just been left square. The back on this example, it looks like a piece of very thin plywood. I know that now he's using a slightly different design. This was made 3 years ago, and this probably represents this is an earlier model, an earlier type he was using. Yes, this was made in August of 2005. Now he's using an oval sound body with a slightly deeper, I think, and it has a maple back, which probably makes it a bit more resonant. Anyway, this instrument, it's unusual at first because it has a square neck, which I think was quite a surprise at first. But it wasn't, because it's so light and soft, it's not so hard to play. The main advantage of the Smokey Mountain Dulcimers is that they are very reasonably priced. I think this is only like $80 or something, maybe even less than that, which is really fantastic, really for a musical instrument, and especially since it's made of sustainable materials. So it's a lot of kudos there. Now the sound isn't as loud as the Mcnally. If I just play my signature theme. Okay. As you're going to hear, it has a quite nice woody tone to it. It's not as resonant, but that might be because the soundboard is actually quite thick in the centre here. It's been sanded down at the edges, but in the centre it's quite thick, which gives it a lot of strength, which means it's quite tough, which means it can be used in educational establishments probably without getting broken, which is quite a plus. Whereas the Mcnally strumstick has quite a thin soundboard and back, which means it needs to be treated with care. You can't just let your children play with this and use it as a cricket bat or a baseball bat or something. It needs to be looked after. Whereas this is a little bit more rugged, and maybe that's an advantage, and with the price as well. If I owned one, if this was my own one, I'd be tempted to smooth around the neck a little bit, but just because I'm so used to playing a neck that's nicely rounded, it's a bit awkward for me changing my position from playing single-fingered notes to playing chords. So it's a little bit awkward, but I think you'll probably get used to it. I don't think it's something a big stumbling block really. A nice little feature on this instrument, it's not only got a 0 fret like the Mcnally, is it has a nut as well. Now this helps to keep the strings in the right place. If you're changing your strings on the Mcnally one, you do need to be careful that it goes into the right groove, otherwise it just slides around all over the place. But again, it's a very simple instrument, very simple. This is sort of an instrument you could make yourself if you wanted to, very easy to make. But for $80, it's pretty fantastic really. The strings are attached quite simply with little brads, little pins here. That's it. I'll just give it a little play. Smokey Mountain Dulcimer.